Welcome to another highly questionable work week. What do we have today, Bo?
An unforgettable icon and a decidedly forgettable basketball game.
Vamos, papi.
All right, the NBA Finals over.
Pretty much, for all intents and purposes. Cleveland will look better at home. They will make more threes. I'm not even sure Kevin Love being out is a bad thing for them, but you have seen nothing that would indicate to you that that Cleveland team can win against Golden State 4 out of the next 5 games, or for that matter, that that Cleveland team can win and even keep a game close in Golden State. Here's the issue with this series. You've got 2 good offensive teams, great offensive teams. Only one of them is great defensively.
Now, to be fair here, most of us had buried Golden State when they were down 3-1 against the Thunder, and the Thunder absolutely looked like they were the better team in that series up until that point. So I am willing to wait just a little bit, if for no other reason than my bosses get paid when y'all watch these games, and I'm not going to tell you that this is over because then you don't watch those games. However, if this series ain't over, no series is ever over because they don't look like they belong on the same court. And it's so crazy that LeBron made this move out of Miami to the best landing place he could find, and it's light years apparently behind the actual champs.
And here's one of the craziest things about that. When you consider it, LeBron James is a planner. He had a good plan. This is a sneak team that's arrived from out of nowhere to be a dynasty. That's never happened in the history of this sport, where a team sneaks up on you and all of a sudden becomes the greatest thing in the sport. What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to find out. One of us picked the Warriors in 4 in a sweep. I'm trying to find out who was, you know?
Yeah, I think
Do you
know who
remember
that was.
the
No, well, don't look over there.
Yeah,
Because he just said somebody
6.
in 6 games.
Yeah.
6.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was a total coward.
I got it. That was the one. Oh, I can't find my name. Yeah, that was the one. I forget. Yeah, the Warriors in 4.
Clearly, I don't listen when he talks because I had no idea who he was talking about.
Should LeBron feel disrespected by how Steph Curry was acting on the bench last night?
Hey, man, winners should not have to regulate their behavior based upon the feelings of the losers. This is how I feel about this in the world. I will not back down off this one. But get a look at your humble superstar last night.
Yeah.
There's Draymond Green, and there's Steph. I thought he was doing some kind of stretch or something like that. Incorrect. He's just kind of stunned.
Oh, man.
There's Jared, no, I'm not a hero, Collins, just trying to pay attention to the game with all these hands going off behind him.
I mean, Steph enjoys himself. He has fun playing basketball. When you win by 30-plus points, you're going to have fun playing basketball. I do wonder, though, why should LeBron feel disrespected and just LeBron? Shouldn't all the Cavs, if you're going to feel disrespected, did we just want to throw LeBron in the show? We just wanted a question with LeBron's name in it, didn't we?
Oh, no. Let's get past this having fun playing basketball. People who want to say Steph Curry, humble superstar, say, well, it's a little different when you're playing basketball. What basketball play was he making over there on the bench? Nope, that's just your humble superstar not being so humble.
Get over LeBron. You won 2 championships already. You know, that's it. That's the end of the road for you. That's it. You had your fun in Miami. Now you got to go through a lot of misery in Cleveland. That's it.
Or he could become a free agent. I hear the Warriors might have some cap space to sign a superstar caliber small forward. I mean, you could consider that.
How should Kevin Love feel about the way his concussion was handled last night?
What an embarrassment this was. What is the NBA's concussion protocol? If you're not doing this, you're allowed back in the game. Look at this. He's elbowed in the head. No foul is called. He's writhing on the court. No time is taken.
Tried to get up and couldn't, by the way.
And in the cutthroat nature of this game, Draymond Green barely steps around him and starts flexing while he's on the floor, writhing. And then he goes to the locker room and they can send him back out there. To be fair to the doctors, though, I do feel like we know so little about concussions that even they're behind on some of the information and how to test on this stuff.
Yeah, but he was out there looking like he didn't know up from down while he was on the court. Like, it was fair to ask why they did not take him out of the game or why they did not test him at halftime. But how should Kevin Love feel about the way they handled it? Probably like they handled it exactly the way that he wanted them to handle it. Like, he was on the ground and said he could not get up. He knew what it was. He decided he wanted to keep going with it. I'm not saying they should have left him in. I'm just saying Kevin Love's probably not so mad that they did.
Are you kidding me? He get up there, he make a 3-point right after that play, so they figure, I'm telling you, if he gets hit again in the head,
Well,
this going to get another 3-point for us, he finally found his groove,
No, but that should have been a sign to everybody involved that he was concussed. The Cavs making a three, something's wrong in the first two games when that happens.
Should the Cavs blow the team up if they get swept by the Warriors?
Like, we're not even going to wait. Like, we're going to get ahead of this now. Like, what are we going to talk about the day after that game if it happens? Yes, we are already talking about going all TNT and dynamite about the Cavaliers. And I don't know about blowing them up, but I don't know what exactly it is they should do. They decided to build around three guys, two of whom we knew couldn't play any defense, one of whom doesn't play defense like he did when he was younger. So what do you do building around that? What seems clear at this point, Kevin Love is probably closer to role player than star player, and Kyrie Irving is good at getting buckets for Kyrie Irving. When he's not doing that, he's not doing anything else for you either.
It is really crazy to imagine that last year they won a game in Golden State with Dellavedova and Shumpert being your critical pieces, playing a totally defensive style with, by the way, a better LeBron than the one that we're witnessing. It's not just that that team was more competitive, it's that LeBron was better then too. So what you're going to have to do here is you're going to have to move somebody if they get beat up, because clearly they're not good enough to compete with whatever comes out of the West.
And what has to worry them? They restyled this team to try to beat the Warriors. They fired David Blatt because of the way that he looked against the Warriors. They did all of that, and they look farther behind the Warriors now than they did when they got smoked the last time they played them in the regular season.
You got to blame the guy who put this team together. What's his name?
Oh, here we go.
LeBron.
Yeah,
That's
there,
it.
There it is.
How will you remember Muhammad Ali?
Not just a pioneer, not just a legend, not just an icon, but somebody who, think about what I'm about to say, not only fought on behalf of his people at a time it was really difficult to do so, fought on behalf of his religion at a time it was really difficult to do so, but also fought the United States government and lost pieces of his prime while doing so. A fighter till the very end, very human, keep in mind, and yet somehow still, forevermore, a god.
One thing worth noting, though, the big reason why we're here is because Muhammad Ali was so incredibly charming. It's not as though the things that polarized Ali from a lot of white people didn't also polarize him away from a lot of black people. Saying that you worship Allah and not a Christian God is not the way to ingratiate yourself with all black people. Ali did this at this time where he really wasn't winning with that many people. But we also have to remember this. As strong and defiant as he was never really consistent about anything but one thing: his refusal to allow you to use his blackness as a reason to discredit him. His refusal to allow anyone to use his blackness or anybody else's as anything other than a shining example of his own beauty. That is the one thing that persisted throughout his own life. Even though we have quibbles about some other parts of it, that is the one thing that stayed constant.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
What is this?
Hey, wait a minute. They wrestling.
Wait, they're just going to jump in.
Whoa.
The bout went from inside to outside, and of course it lands in a dumper. Oh, something filled with fire!
That is feeling a little swampy today. Do you question?
You give us topics and events, and we question them.
Do you question if this wrestling is real?
All right, we're going to New Jersey. They say this is called Game Changer Wrestling, which means it must be wrestling. One of these dudes is 45 years old, by the way.
What is this?
Hey, wait a minute. They wrestling.
Wait, they're just going to jump in.
Whoa.
The bout went from inside to outside, and of course it lands in a dumper. Oh, something filled with fire! What is that, a dumpster filled with fire?
It's a pickup truck with... I just want to know whose truck that was. Like, who just gives up their truck? 'Cause people who own Dodge Rams like that aren't just giving up their trucks all willy-nilly. What was the trade?
What are the odds that you would be wrestling a guy, you'd be in a fight, and then you'd go to throw him, and there would be a truck with fire and fiberglass in it that you would land in?
Are we sure those guys are alive?
I mean, no, we're not. Are we? Are we sure? We can't be sure, right?
Only thing I'm sure of is I wish you hadn't asked us that.
Next question.
Do you question if this kid is a good shortstop?
Okay, if he is following the fiery truck wrestling, probably not. Let's see what we've got. Oh, this was my brother. Yeah, this
Oh,
was my
yeah.
brother at that age.
He
Yes.
tried to tell his parents not to
Yes.
waste that money.
Yes, yes. My brother got ejected from a game for throwing rocks at the center fielder as the right fielder.
Yeah, I say this though. I would like to note something that isn't this kid's fault. You don't put that kid at shortstop. Like, that's a relatively important position. Why isn't he out in right field with all the other kids who don't actually want to play and their parents are forcing them? What kind of manager do you have where that kid's the shortstop?
He comes home dirty. Look at that. He comes home. Somebody thought he played. Then he was sliding into third base.
And that must be his dad, because he put his hands on his ribs like, do you know how much I paid for this?
I think that I have seen that kid playing basketball.
Do we have a video? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
There he is.
I thought it was going to be a video of James Harden playing defense.
It's a mixtape of this kid's highlights.
I got to say, though, this kid right here, like, part of this is the adorableness of him not wanting to play. Like, they're all running at you, little buddy. You might want to make some kind of move.
I love the hands in the pockets. It's such a nice touch.
Do you question if this truck passed inspection?
We're going to Russia, where I didn't know they did inspections.
All right, let's check it out.
But apparently they don't.
Oh, look at this.
What do you mean?
What is going to happen? Oh, good God. That escalated quickly.
Yeah, and I was just about to give him some credit for getting hydraulics on a truck of that size until I realized that it was actually a construction disaster.
I mean, that's it. A nice short clip. That's it. We question Russian inspectors and we move on.
How about, do you question what the hell you'd do if you were behind that truck?
That is not the worst truck accident I have seen in Russia.
Okay, we go
Look
to
at
my,
this one
we
now.
go to my father's endless library of video here.
So glad he has it, too.
Let's see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How about this? How about you have some cows?
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Look how quick they got up, though. They
Yeah.
played it off. They too cool to get caught slipping like that.
Move! Move!
Move.
Move!
Move is the joke, Bobby. Move.
That was an utter disaster. Get it?
Ooh. Wow, that's a bad joke.
Utter!
Utter.
Should I milk this joke some more?
We're really going to keep doing this? We're really going to keep doing this?
Do you have beef with my jokes?
Oh, for the love of God.
Highly questionable is broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. I have wrestled with an alligator. I don't tussle with a whale. I don't handcuff lightning and throw thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I made medicine sick.
Rumble, young man, rumble.
My son's TV show is brought to you by USAA, insurance banking and investments tailored for the military community. Joining us at the beach today is Trinidad James.
All right, he's here promoting his latest song, Just a Little Thick, featuring Mystical and Lil Dicky. Wow, that's a hell of a combination.
Lil Dicky?
Let's talk to him.
What was your cultural transition like from Trinidad to the States?
Tough, man. You know, people talk so crazy to me growing up. You know, I had an accent when I moved over here from Trinidad as a kid, and it was kind of crazy, man. You know, people don't respect immigrants at all, and it's tough, man. You know, you gotta really hustle hard to be something in America. You know, and it's bigger than even just me coming from Trinidad, even from the Spanish culture. You know, I feel it for anybody, you know, that's trying to take care of their family and, you know, get a green card and all those type of things, man. It's not easy, man, you know, because people, they treat you so crazy in this world, man, you know. You got to fight for everything when you're in that position.
Give us an example when you actually had to fight for it.
What was it? I mean, I felt for a long time. Or put like this, in 2010, I can remember having to, like, I felt like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna ever get a job again. I had lost my job at the time because they had moved to a different location. I could never make it on time. And when they moved to the further out location, because I wasn't driving, because obviously I had no license. but I had a work permit, and when that happened, I think like right when that happened, my work permit also was expired, and then the paperwork that me and my mom were going through to get our green cards, it was some craziness that went on with a death in the family, and some of the personal stuff I can't really get into, but either at that point in time, man, I felt that was like my lowest point in life to this date, where I could always remember that whenever I feel bad, I always think back at that time, because I've never been lower than that. I was in negative money, nothing at all. I had nothing going at all. At one point in time, I felt like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, should I just go back to Trinidad? But I was like, what I'm gonna do there? I haven't been there in years. I grew up my whole life here, and I just prayed about it. My best friend, he was in a bad place at the time too, so we hung out all the time. Still found a way to hustle up money and buy clothes from the thrift store and be fresh still, because that always mattered to me. My morals were real jacked up back then. And as far as like what's important, being fresh was always like the number one thing to be. And but eventually, I was able to get a job, and the paperwork. Shout out to President Obama. He passed this act that got our paperwork back rolling again. I will always be in debt to President Obama. Always, man. Like, he doesn't even know how important he was to me and my mother. And I will always love him and his family for that, like, for real. And got the job. That's when I got the Waffle House job. It just came out of nowhere, and I was like, wow, this job is intense, because I'd never cooked before in my whole life. I didn't know anything about cooking anything. I couldn't even make my own eggs, so it was just like, I got to figure this out. And I did, and the pay was ridiculous. As a waiter, you got paid $3.33 an hour, so that was insane.
Go ahead, ask him something, Poppy. What do you got?
Hey, Trinidad, what is the craziest thing you have seen at one of your concerts?
The greatest thing I've seen in one of my
craziest. The craziest thing, you have seen.
I've seen kids throwing other kids like beach balls. When you're hitting a beach ball at a concert, I've seen kids crowd surfing, throwing each other like from one side to another. Is the most insane, scary, adrenaline rushing thing ever.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate having you on. Thank you.
Gracias, Trinidad.
Boom.
Time to play the game that finally retired the flip phone. See? Or no?
Tell us what to watch on television tonight. He's almost 100% guaranteed to be intrigued.
They'll bury him with his flip phone.
On NBC, Game 4, Penguins and Sharks.
San Jose stayed alive. They stayed alive. They were going to go down 3-0, and now it's 2-1 with an overtime goal. Dude from Finland scored it. We're going to learn his name with the Finnish call to the game.
Donskoi tulee läpi kiekon kanssa. Donskoi laukaa Edsen tekee maalin! Jonas Donskoi! Sharks voittaa! Suomalainen tekee ratkaisuosuman! Jonas Donskoi on sankari numero 1!
That's pretty magical right there. It'll make you emotional in another language. Bomani, are you intrigued?
Yeah, I'll be that. And it's worth noting, I have seen both overtime goals that we've seen in this postseason, because I've been watching the hockey. All I've seen is those overtimes.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. You know what I call that? A finish. Did you get it?
I mean, really? Yes, we got it.
Yeah.
A finish.
Yeah. Finish. That's it. That's it. Finish.
Right. Okay.
Because it's finished.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Can we?
And the game is over.
Can we finish the show?
On ABC, The Bachelorette.
Man, come on. Just put it up.
2 episodes.
I want to be a part of her world.
Over 2 nights.
Take it all in.
Right?
Isn't it crazy?
This is unbelievable.
A double dose of romance.
I can see a future with him.
And a double dose of Chad.
The other guys keep pushing my buttons, and they just keep pushing me and poking me along. It's not a wise decision to poke Chad Berry.
You think I'm scared of you?
I think you should be. You're a 27-year-old failed football player. Wow, that crossed the line. You guys want to go?
He's obviously not the same person he is with us that he is with her.
Is that your business?
Well,
Absolutely, that's my business because I care about her.
Stop talking about me, okay?
This is ridiculous. This guy is nuts. I don't want to be around a guy that's volatile like that.
He had his chance at love. He had 3 kids.
You're a whiny little. I can't wait to see a mother like you go burn.
Don't you touch me, dude.
You're gonna die.
Oh my God.
You're bleeding. Is everyone okay?
He had blood on his hands.
Well, Monty, are you intrigued?
I was watching that whole video clip to see if one dude was there, and apparently he's still around at least for one more week. You know what I'm talking about.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very cheap because I'm telling you something. I'm predicting a big fight. You know, a big fight on that set is going to happen any minute now. I'm telling you.
Did you just make a prediction? We just saw. I mean, they showed us.
Well, I see any blood. There's going to be a lot of blood. I'm telling you something.
Yeah, wait till you hear his prediction for Game 2 of the NBA Finals.
Oh, looks like I was right. My prediction came true.
Like he's your daddy. You're not even here, and I got to answer for this stuff now.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Oh, Dan doesn't have to do his job because of the Bachelorette. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow, which is the same thing as gracias. See you mañana.